what time it is. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Okay, no, seriously, hi. It's Wednesday, April 24th, and this vlog is not starting off on a great start. I'm kind of trying to accept the fact that with an increased work schedule and not having time to write, having a full-time job that is demanding, I have to kind of admit that I cannot always keep up the schedule. Like, in theory, 5,000 words a week works, but it's still a lot when I have a very draining day job. So we're in my kitchen. It's Wednesday. I'm behind on everything. Let me get you propped up here for a second. Okay, hopefully that works. So basically, long story short, is I watched Monday's video. I ended the last vlog like not being at the 45,000 mark. This week we should be at 50,000 if we're trying to do the word goal. And I think I'm still at like 49,000 now. I did add words. I added like 2,000 words this week so far. So we're doing better, but I'm not doing great in general with keeping up with anything this week. I blame it on the fact that Monday I had a severe migraine. I went to bed at 8 o'clock. I could not function. I could not focus. And I worked all day still, despite the fact that I had this growing migraine. I still worked because I'm off on Friday. I'm doing a retreat. Bro, it's just a rough time. So the migraine took me out Monday. Yesterday I work late. So I work 10 to 6 on Tuesdays. Because I was sick on Monday, I did not, my kitchen is a mess. My kitchen's always a mess. I don't know. I live with a man and cooking ends up being like a whole production sometimes, you know, but it's messy. So I didn't clean anything like at all. So I had like the dishes to be like put away. I had all the dishes to clean. I had the laundry that I started that I couldn't finish. So Tuesday morning before work, I pretty much spent 7 to 9 cleaning up and making the house right again, which meant I didn't get to write because I initially planned on doing that on Tuesday morning. And then Tuesday night came around. I didn't write anything last night, although I wrote a little bit at work. So I felt okay. Like I wrote almost 1,000 at work yesterday. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. And now today's here and it's 7 o'clock exactly. And I'm going to clean up, but I'm going to try to write a little bit. I'm just really, I don't know, this week I'm just really like, I'm still not in the writing mood, which sucks. I am writing just to write words at this point. But in some ways, I've been thinking about how I am going to edit draft 2. Is it great? I don't know, man. But that's what I've been doing. So I already kind of said in my last vlog, if you've been watching, about how I have to take some of the scenes from where I put too early and I had to throw them like later because that really made more sense. So I really think in draft 2, I have to focus in the first half, like the first act of her accepting this like hospitality and this like love from the vampire and like being like, yeah, you know what, this is much better than anything I've ever had. Like I have a warm bed, I have like a house, and I think I'm gonna make it a little bit more modern, like nothing crazy for this vampire because like he doesn't need all the modern tech, but I do think I'm gonna add a TV, and I think I'm gonna do a scene where instead of her sneaking into his bedroom to look for his phone earlier, because I had that first, I think she's going to be more content initially, and she's going to maybe be like lounging and enjoying her time and thinking more like internally, like, yeah, like this is what's been missing in my life. And then maybe having her flip through the TV and seeing like a news article of her being missing. I think I'm going to do that instead. And then he's going to come in and like steal the remote and be like, you don't need to worry about that. I've been thinking about the edits I'm going to make instead of actually just writing the draft currently, which is my problem because I want to go back and edit already. And I'm trying so hard not to do that because I'm like, I just need to get the draft out first and then we go back and edit. But since I'm already thinking about the edits, like that's where I'm getting stuck right now because I just want to go back and edit it. But I'm not. I'm going to write draft 1 first. So as of today, I'm kind of coming to the conclusion that I may not write 75,000 words in this draft, and that is okay. Already pretty much like I'm almost at 50,000, you know? So, well, I'm almost at 40,000, I should say. I'm behind this week, as we know. We already know I'm behind. But I do think this draft might be more of like a 60,000 word draft than a 75,000. When I initially planned for it and I was writing it, I thought, yeah, it'll be fine. But now that I'm kind of seeing some of the errors I'm making in this draft, I'm like, ugh. it's hard to persist through drafting right now when I know there's things I need to change. So I think I'm just gonna bang out the rest of the novel. I have started skipping around in the novel. Like I started writing like the next like 3 chapters of the ending. Like I'm in chapter 20 right now, and I've been writing like dabbling in chapter 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. Just wherever I get an inspiration, I'm writing it. So that's not normally like me, but I'm just going for it at this point. I'm like, I just need to get words out. So, hi, welcome to another vlog. I am a mess mentally with this novel. Otherwise, I'm doing okay. Like nothing else major is happening except for my brain will not let me write. And it's mostly because I'm getting stuck in the potential drafting edits that I want to make. So I'm going to stop doing that this week. I'm going to watch the Reedsy videos. I watched Monday at work, and then I didn't get to Tuesday or today's yet. So I'm going to go watch them and clean up the kitchen while I'm doing that. And then I'm going to head up to my computer. I'm going to try to write a little bit. I don't really care at this point how much I write, but I'm going to write a little bit, and we're going to look up the Reedsy extras. And that is where we're at. So I'm so sorry that this has been kind of like a mess, but I'm just letting you know like where my head's been at. So I will report on how the Reedsy videos are. We are in the second week of like writing. So last time we talked about like the verbs and like the word structures and choices and all of that stuff. That is very much the same this week, but I know we did the rule of 3 on Monday. So, and that was actually really interesting. I never had thought about it before, but like if you give like 3 like things, like your last thing should be like the punch, right? So if I was like duck, duck, goose, right? Like that's kind of like the rule of 3, very simplified. And so today we are doing, let me jump to my current week, repetition and build. So building on the previous week's sessions, today we're looking at the use of build. So that's where we're at. Okay, I will check in, guys, when I have more to say about Reedsy and or my progress in this novel. Bye. When you haven't vlogged or done anything in your class in over a week and you have to start catching up. And I have so much to do. I'll update where I'm at later. Wish me well. Hi, friends. Man, I feel like I'm really struggling to do these vlogs now because like every time I come back, I'm like, my brain is melting. It's Wednesday, May 1st, and I really thought I would have it together by the time I vlogged again. But my brain, you know, mental health is a funny thing, especially when you're a counselor, because it's worse when you like know the things you have to do and like even when you do them and they don't fully work, sometimes you just need to let it ride. And I'm struggling because I don't want to let it ride. I want to just get back into the swing of things, and I'm not, and I'm just struggling with it. So I have not written anything in 2 weeks, and it makes me a little sad. I had been in such a great flow and I was feeling so good about things. And then I realized that I think I was putting too much pressure on myself when I started to struggle with the novel, and I needed to take a step back, but taking a step back would mean that like I'm not meeting my deadlines, which again are self-imposed and they're only a suggestion. It's not even like anyone's tracking me while I'm doing this course. So I just really like, I used that as escape for initially, but then I realized that like I had a lot of stuff going on and my brain just wasn't able to focus on one thing. And that tends to be how it goes. I just have, my brain is everywhere. And because I was behind, like not just on writing, but I was behind on other stuff too. I went on a retreat this past weekend and it was a phenomenal time. I got to be a presenter and using like my expert knowledge, if you will. And I did a whole somatic healing workshop. And then I also did a tarot reading workshop, which was really fun and just like it was such a good time. Like I loved teaching people about tarot. And it's one of those things where like I kind of forget that I've been reading my cards since I was 18, which is 14 years now. And I really was like, oh, I'm not good at this. Like this isn't my expertise. And then I was teaching it and like just flowing. And I was like, wow, I'm actually pretty good at this. Look at that. So the retreat went really well, but I had spent a lot of time prepping for the retreat, and then like I worked the whole weekend and then got home and crashed a little bit. I just spent Sunday on the couch after that, which was much needed, but at the same time I didn't do anything. And the house still had stuff to do, and life still moved on, and I still had the stuff that I didn't get to do before that weekend. So stuff for like my book club, for my writing, for the program, for the emails I had to respond to. Like all of this stuff was piling up. And unfortunately, I let it get to my head. So like last night on April 30th, I just kind of had like, whew, like I had a moment, and I just kind of told myself like, I think you just need to let your sad vibes out. Even though we don't like to do that all the time, I'm like, I think you just need to like feel the feels for now and come back and reevaluate. And that's kind of what I did. I ended up doing just kind of like a like sad girl vibe last night, and then I was like, okay. And then this morning we're gonna wake up and we're gonna go with this too shall pass, and we're gonna pass it. And we did. My day ended up going really well because I had a ton of cancellations. I ended up only having 3 sessions out of like 7 or 8 that I normally have. So I used that to my advantage, and I caught up on some personal things, not gonna lie. I like anytime like I wasn't working because I had other stuff to do, and I was like messaging people, making phone calls, like the whole 9 yards. When I was having a time to myself, it ended up working out that I was able to get a lot of things done, and my brain calmed down because of that. So now it's like 7:19, and I was originally gonna write tonight, but honestly, I'm already tired. I think it's the heat. It's very hot this week, and I love it, but it's a big adjustment. So I think because I did a lot, there's a couple small things I have to finish up, and I have like 10 minutes left in my audiobook. I am rereading, if you're not familiar with the book, Turtles All the Way Down. I just found out it's gonna be adapted, and it's coming out next month. So, well, this month now. I believe it's coming out in May. I could be wrong though. I don't know. I think it's May. But I'm rereading that, and I love it just the same. Still 5 out of 5 stars. So go read the book. But yeah, so I think I'm going to do a couple of the last minute stuff that I need to finish up on. For starters, I'm really excited because I have a payment from my Elegant Literature submission. I won $20, which is kind of cool. You know, I'm gonna take it, but I have to actually sign up for a program that they will send me the money towards, and it gets right into my bank account. But I'm new to the program, so I have to actually like put all my info in, and it's time like sensitive. So I really gotta do that so that I don't miss out on my payment. And then $20, like awesome, right? And I have to work on videos. Like I want to do my April wrap up, and I have a book review to do. And I definitely want to get them done this weekend so I can upload them in a timely manner. But for now, we're just going to breathe, and we're going to finish up a couple things that are likely not going to be writing. But I'm hoping that tomorrow I'm going to be back in the saddle. So I'm just working on catching up with the Reedsy stuff. I completed all of last week. I don't know what happened. I went off the rails by the end of the week. I just like had all this like planning. I was so anxious about the retreat that I didn't get to do anything because I couldn't. So there was no reason to be anxious about the retreat. It went well, but I missed 3 videos last week, and then I have 3 videos for this week because I have Monday, Tuesday, and today on Wednesday. So it's really good though. I appreciated like the halfway points for last week's video, and like juxtaposition and learning about like contrast and stuff like that. This week, we're talking about chapters. So like all the, like a chapter structure, the length of it, the pacing, how to begin and end a chapter, which is great. I think I tend to naturally do that, but I could be lying to you. So I'm very excited to see what I can learn. I am hopeful that by next week, at this point, I've abandoned the word count. I'm aiming for 50,000 to 55,000 for this first draft. I'm at about 40,000. If I end it sooner, I don't even care at this point. I just would like to get to that point because I already know that like I'm going to be rearranging stuff for draft 2, and it's not worth me putting a ton of effort in when I know I'm going to be editing stuff later. So I'm okay with that. And honestly, if I end up doing querying with a novel that's like 75 to 80,000, like I'm going to be okay with that. I'm not mad. So I just need to get there before I can even think about querying. So we are aiming for 50 to 55,000 words for a completed first draft, and we will bulk it up in the editing process. And that's fine with me. Like I said, I've already been taking notes about how I'm going to edit this, so I don't have to worry. And I think it's going to bulk up more because I'm going to be changing the before and after effects, which I think is why, again, I'm being stuck in this novel in the second half, in like the third act, because I didn't build up like the transition. I didn't make it so happy and like go lucky in the first half, where I kind of like just made him an asshole. And a lot of it would be like, yeah, she would not have even considered staying here if he was always like this. So I need to make it more dreamier in the first half of the book, and then show how my vampire is actually like crazy in the second half. And that's going to come with time. So for now, I'm just going to try to power through, get a first draft done. And editing is wonderful, and we'll have all the successes. So if I don't start writing today, I'm going to try to write a little bit tomorrow, and we're just going to keep going a little bit at a time. We still have a few weeks. We have this week, and we have 3 weeks after this, which means if I'm at 40,000 and I'm aiming for 55,000 and I'm writing 5,000 a week, I will be able to end this book around the 55,000 mark. So I'm just kind of going to go with the flow at this point. I don't really care about the weekly like challenge that Reedsy pitched, because at this point it's out the window. So I'm hoping with that in mind, I'm going to just shift my mindset into just writing and enjoying the story again, versus like worrying about meeting goals or meeting deadlines and like what I'm going to do next. So yeah, so that's where we're at. I'm so sorry that this is a chaotic vlog and I've had like 2 days of footage so far, but I will get some maybe b-roll of me doing some things, and then we might wrap it up because it's almost the end of the week already. Holy cow. All right, thank you guys for sticking around with me. Mental health is bitch, as we all know, bad mental health especially, but I'm excited for what is to come still, and I'm gonna roll with the punches. It is May, the weather is great, we're gonna have a lot of outdoorsy stuff, and I'm hoping that'll bring the creative juices back for me.
Do you enjoy the research? Because that's just the flip side of the data research, is you get so involved in it that it takes you away. It's an excuse not to do the writing.
The research actually can take you down very interesting roads. So like I did a lot of research about why pigeons, you see pigeons, urban pigeons with missing teeth.
Hello friends, happy Cinco de Mayo. It's May 5th. I just got back from stopping at my friend's party. She decided to have a Cinco de Mayo party. Never been to one. Another friend of my friends is a really great chef, like actually worked as a chef and made like authentic tacos. And I can't remember, they have a fancy name that I cannot remember right now, but they were really good. And I am just kind of in a food coma. So it's about like 2:30 and I am kind of wrapping everything up for the week. 2 weeks really. So yesterday and Friday I was writing a decent amount, and between the 2 days I got about 1,400 words added. So I'm on my way to 47,000 and I feel really good. I may still write a little bit tonight. I'm just kind of like a little bit drowsy right now, so I'm gonna try read a book. I got this unboxing of A Black Girl by Angela Shante, and it's a memoir in poems, and I'm really excited to read this. I think it'll be a quick read, but I am going to read that for a little bit and maybe take a nap. We'll see how it goes, but I may write later tonight still. Just depends on how everything goes, but right now it's like rainy and it's like the perfect vibe to do some reading, so that's just what I want to do. But I'm feeling better and I feel like I'm able to be more on track. I think, like I said, between 50,000 and 55,000 is probably going to be the end of the novel, but I'm starting to picture the novel and how it's going to all come together when I finish writing this book in its wholeness, like not just this draft, but all the drafts. So I'm thinking tomorrow we're going to start back on track again with Reedsy and writing and getting to the end, because I will finish this novel this month. That's a promise. I'm not carrying it into June because I have another writing challenge that we'll be doing in June, and I need all my focus on that. So thank you so much for sticking around. I hope you guys are doing well with your own writing, or just, existing. Sometimes we just need to exist and let it ride. So I hope either way that you guys are well. And let me know if you have plans to either finish or start a new project this month in May. So thanks so much, guys, for sticking around. I look forward to another 2 weeks coming up where I share getting to the end of the Reedsy program and my novel. So, okay, until next time. Bye.